On one of the days that we're there, we visit the site of the bombing of the U.S. Embassy, a terrorist bombing which took place in Kenya on August 7th, 1998. And in that day, over 200 folks perished in that bombing. And one of the inscriptions in this beautiful park that they've turned into a memorial is a Kenyan proverb that says, "Peace is costly, but it's worth the expense." There, as I go into the edifice that they've built there, it is a beautiful monument and a beautiful park on the site of the U.S. Embassy bombing. It says, "May the innocent victims of this tragic event rest in the knowledge that it has strengthened our resolve to work for a world in which man is able to live alongside his brother in peace." And there in the park also is a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. "Nothing good ever comes of violence." I walk around in the park and I look at the many sayings that have been put there. The people who are basking in the sun, they're on their lunch break in Nairobi and they're laying out on the grass. And there was another quote that I read. It said, "We can work together for a better world with men and women of goodwill, those who radiate the intrinsic goodness of humankind." Professor Wangari Maathai. She is the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004. Also, there is a quote from the beloved Nelson Mandela, which says, "I will not forget, but I will forgive." And so we have a wonderful time there at the memorial, just soaking in the park, the beauty of the park that now fills that space of memory of those who transitioned on that day out of this earthly life. And one quote I see as I'm leaving the park, it says, "Nonviolence is more powerful than all the armaments in the world. It's mightier than the mightiest weapons of destruction devised by the ingenuity of man." And that was spoken by Mahatma Gandhi. So welcoming the experience. My big 5 lessons that I've gotten from Kenya, and perhaps they can, I pray that they can resonate with you and perhaps you can put them to use in your life too. The first one is do away with the don'ts. I always told myself, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the energy, I don't have the patience, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have a passport. Well, all of that just got blown clean out of the water when I got prepared to go to Kenya, because in the preparing to go to Kenya, everything was provided for easily, beautifully, and perfectly, all in divine order. I even went to the passport office. I had my passport pictures with me. I had my documentation with me. And in a matter of minutes, I was granted a passport. I was stunned. I said, surely you all must want some more paperwork. Surely y'all have got some more red tape in here that I've got to go through or something, fingerprints, my firstborn child, what. And it was just interesting that everything just went so smoothly, from being able to get a parking space right there, right in front of the space, and not even using up all the time that I had on the meter, walking into the passport office, getting a passport in a matter of minutes, leaving there, and everything so smoothly. So all the money, all the time, all of the resources, everything just there, present, ready, waiting. And so I pray and I pray that in your life you dispense with the don'ts. I have learned from this Kenya experience, dispense with the don'ts. Don't have this, don't have that, don't know about it, don't know what to do. And instead, Just take a yes attitude. That, God, right now I don't see how it's going to happen. Take a yes attitude. And the yes attitude is, yes, God. Yes, I'll go. And all things will appear and manifest as I keep taking one step in front and putting one foot in front of the other. Things will unfold for me. The second lesson that I got from Kenya is not to cast my pearl before swine. Jesus talked about that. And to me, it means that when there is something that's a true part of my vision, a desire of my heart, as it had been a desire of my heart to go to serve in Kenya, and we were able to go take medical supplies to the women who were at the hospital in Nairobi, and take clothing and toys and books and pens and papers to the orphans, and to go work to serve the women who come from all over at the conference. And so to go around and be able to serve in Africa had always been a dream of mine. And yet, when we cast our pearls before swine, sometimes we talk to the people in our lives that are not appropriate to talk to about our big dreams. We can't give the pearl of our big dreams to just anyone. We can't just throw our pearls before swine. We give our big dreams. We talk our big dreams and our big visions to folks who have big dreams and big visions too, who understand it and who can help support us in unfolding our vision, because they have our best interests at heart and the love is there. So one of my big thank yous is to the Reverend Dr. Iyanla Vanzant for her wonderful, just awesome support of this trip, and for being the one who truly just kicked me out of the box when I needed to be kicked out of the box, and when I was ready to jump out of the box, and to say, well, if your vision is to serve in Africa and you already are not doing what God has said, by my own admission, I had said I just wasn't doing what God had told me to do. She said, well, I can make that happen. I know Pastor Nolan Henson, and he goes there every year. He's going there shortly, and it was truly shortly, just a few weeks after that I was on a plane to Kenya. And so, casting the pearls before swine, we don't talk to just anyone about the desires of our heart and the things that are our vision. We can't talk to everyone about it. However, if we do talk to those folks who want to hold us up, who want to lift us up, who are supporting us and encouraging us, they are folks that will support us in making our visions come to fruition. My third big five from Kenya is when I choose to suspend my fears, I see God. I see the face of God. When I choose to suspend my fears, I see the face of God. And so I chose in the Kenya experience to suspend every fear I had, the fear of going to the other side of the world, the fear of going somewhere where there's unrest, the fear of meeting up with a machete, the fear of seeing big guns, the fear of big lions and animals and tigers and bears and oh my, all those fears that just continue to try to creep up and come present. Every time I suspended a fear, and I said, fear, I'm going to suspend you for the moment while I breathe and pray. I can always come back and pick you up later. I know where you are. But right now, I'm just going to suspend this fear, and I'm just going to take this huge step anyway. And so it taught me that when I suspend my fear, I see the face of God. My fourth big one is that when I live on purpose, I go with the flow. And it's so beautiful because on the path that God sets us on, each of us, the path that God has for us, all the provisions for that path are on the path. All of the resources for that path are on the path. All of the things that God is calling us to do, He's put already on the path that leads to our greatest fulfillment and happiness and joy and our greatest service to the world. So when I'm doing the things that God has outlined for me to do, when I'm taking the opportunity, when I'm embracing the calling and the vision and the mission that I have for my life, all the resources are already there on that road. When I'm off on a road trying to do what I think I need to do and trying to figure it out on my own, well, I don't have the resources. I don't have the know-how. I'm out of my element because I'm not in the flow. But yet when I'm purposeful in my movement, when I'm listening to God, and when I'm being the driver under instruction, as I saw at Glory Driving School, when I'm being the driver under instruction in my life, and I'm on the path, purposeful path of activity of what God's purpose is for me, I'm in the flow. And it taught me to go with the flow, and that everything works out. Everything worked out at the passport office. Everything worked out for my ticketing. Everything worked out for my visa. Everything worked out easily and divinely, and without struggle and without stress or strain or strife. Those quadruplets that travel together in a pack. And when I recognized what flow felt like, it made me be even more aware and cognizant of when I'm not in the flow, so that I can swiftly get myself back on the raft flowing down God's river of grace in my life. The fifth one is my paradigms are shaping my entire world. And when I went to Cabana and I saw the slums and I saw where they said poor people live, and I didn't see anybody that was poor in spirit at all. They maybe didn't have the zeros behind their dollars as many as somebody else may have. Yet I didn't see anyone poor. I truly did not. I saw rich people. And so my whole paradigm of where I came from and what happened in my life shifted. And I saw that in an instant, if I'm open to it, if I'm willing, if I'm accepting and receptive, that God can shift the whole way I look at something in a holy instant. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the paradigm shifts and seeing the world in a different way, and thankful that the world can be seen in a different way than how I had previously looked upon it. And so I'm thankful for that. So those are my big five. And now for just a closing word of utmost thanks, utmost gratitude to you. I shared with you some of the highlights from the trip. There's so much to talk about. I'm writing a book about it. The book is called Kenya, What to Do When One of Your Dreams Walks Up and Slaps You in the Face. That's the title of the book. And so I'm working on a book for the trip. I wanted to share with you some of the highlights from the trip because you supported me in making this momentous journey. You supported me with your prayers. You supported me with loving energy, holding me in a loving space of love and light while I was there, and all of us were together. You supported me in going over and flying over and bringing gifts and uplifting women and children and men and everyone we met. You uplifted me with your prayers, with your gifts, monetary gifts, with all kinds of gifts, all kinds of reassurances and kind words while I was there. And I say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I say to you, asante sana, asante sana. Asante means thank you. And like we already discussed, you know what sana means. Sana means very much. Amp it up a few notches. As Emerald said, let's kick it up a notch. And that's what sana does. So I say to you, asante sana. Thank you very much. And I want to leave you with two blessings from the Holy Word. I love reading the Bible. And one of them is my favorite blessing that God, the Lord himself, gave to Moses and said, this is the blessing that we need to speak. So, if this is the priestly blessing, and if the Lord said it, we know that when we say it to him, that it comes to pass. So for your life, I speak this over your life. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace. Amen. And in closing, I leave with you 3 John. Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in every way, and that your body may keep well, even as I know your soul keeps well and prospers. And so it is. Once again, I say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And many rich blessings continue upon your life. Visit us online at www.thepowerofloveworldwide.com so that you can see pictures, highlights, and video clips from our amazing trip to Kenya. And I am so thankful to you once again. Be blessed. Be very, very, very blessed.